Hey, today I want to talk about the sort of journey that I've been going on where I'm moving into more simplicity and away from noise. It's also interesting that while I'm recording this, there's machinery going on in the background, although you may not be able to hear it. It's not super prominent. And this is something that I've been feeling for many years, and I have friends that also have gone through this or are going through this, and there's also like mentors and other people that I'm aware that I've connected with either in physical form or digitally online that also, have gone through this either a number of years ago or going through this now. And I am aware that I had a privilege as a child that I had a parent who very much encouraged questioning of authority outside the home. I feel like that was very much a privilege. I can see how that could turn into a shadow, and for whatever reason, many reasons, I have managed to, what I consider, turn it into a gift. And with that, coupled with other aspects of myself that I'm very aware of, it has meant that I have always been in a space of seeking knowledge. There's a hunger for knowledge, like so much hunger for knowledge. As a little girl, I remember even before going to bed at night just thinking like, I want to know all the things there is to ever know about this existence, and the big sort of philosophical questions that I would come up with and ask myself, lying in bed at night, keeping myself awake. And I have capitalized on that to a certain extent. I'm aware I have a potential to use my mind in particular ways in the realms of logic and knowledge and analysis and detail, but also big perspectives, and I can hold multiple perspectives on so many things, and which is great in a certain way. It also means that I can assist others in so many ways with that sort of gift. And and I remember, to give an example of the questioning of authority, and 9/11 is a great example. Rewind back to 2001, and remember that sort of happening, and my dad sort of just like looking at us. We're watching this all kind of happening on a screen, and he's like walks down the hallway, and we have this massive stack of like National Geographic magazines, and he like goes to one of the piles and like picks up one of the magazines, and there it is, the whole article about the buildings and how they were built, and and Dad's like, this should not have happened, and it was just this kind of thing of like, oh, what is the United States up to now? There's like awareness already of like questioning authority outside the home, and that would probably be the earliest memory I have of that. So yeah, that has obviously led me into a path of questioning many things throughout my life, and then coupled with my insatiable appetite for knowledge, has helped me in many ways. Well, I consider has helped me in many ways. And yet also there's awareness as a child of this love for art, this creative aspect of myself that also needed to be fed. I loved painting, I loved dancing, I loved drawing as a girl. And as I've gotten older, I've seen the importance of reconnecting in with that space as well. And the balancing of the mind with the heart. So more busyness, more noise, as the airplane goes over. The balance of the doing and the being, art and science. And with that has come this, very clear picture to really sort of tame, regulate that insatiable hunger for knowledge. I have a great awareness of all sorts of rabbit holes and what's going on, and now I'm in a place, and I have been for quite a while, where I don't find it necessary to dig into them and nor do I find it necessary to be sharing much about them either. You know, if someone comes to me and asks me a question about something, I may choose not to share, or I may engage to see where they're at, to then see what kind of information I can give them, so that at least they might have something to go by. But if they're not in a place where they could receive anything that I've got to share, then it's a sort of a probably not a topic we should go into kind of thing. And I'm very much at peace with that. You know, I'm finding a lot of what is being shared now, it does create a distraction of some sort. And it's like, if you're already aware of what's going on and how the world operates in particular ways, I don't see necessary for me to be continually looking and going into the details either. Because also when you're tapping into particular abilities that go beyond just the mind, you can actually start to engage what is going on without the visual, physical world having to actually show you. And that's not to say that it's not important to do your research and all that sort of stuff, but I find a lot of it, whether it's on what you call mainstream or it's a truth or thing or whatever, it's like, or even some spiritual community stuff, it's like, okay, great. I'm aware that that's a story that may or may not be true, and what can I do about it? And does it affect my community? So if it's not affecting someone directly in my community, then there's no longer a sense of urgency of something has to be done about it like yesterday. You know? And if it is somewhat affecting a community in a broader sense, okay, it might not be something that needs to be done today, but what can I do about it this week? You know, is there some assistance that I can provide? And if there's not, then I need to direct my energy into what it is that that I feel that I'm here to do. You know, what is my service? What is my purpose? What is my intentions? If I'm worried about something that's happening over this place and that place, and you know, it's not that I don't have compassion and love and empathy for what's occurring in people's lives. It's just it's also like I only have so much of a capacity of where I can place myself, not just physically, but like my energy, right? And so I'd rather focus that more so I can make a better impact in what's in my immediate environment than scattering myself everywhere. Basically, is probably the best way I can put it. You know, and the world is probably going to continue to get louder in a certain way. And what a great way to say you to that than to really simplify yourself, to really step out of the constant searching for like knowledge. You know, obviously if you're a scientist and you're doing research on a particular thing, yes. Like if you're just filling up all this time just to feed some kind of like mental knowledge hunger, to prove that you know what's going on, or feed some kind of ego of like being anyway, I don't want to go too much into it, but there's a fine line of like consuming information and then just distracting yourself with lots of information. And there's a lot of power in being just as much as there is doing. And there's a lot of power in art just as much as there is in science. And there's a lot of power in engaging with the heart just as much as there is with the brain. You know, and when we remember who we are, we really can just let go of the clutter and feel. You know, the real evolution in the human comes through us actually being in our body and not being so much up in the mind. So the more we can get into our body and just feel whatever comes, you know, you can have an idea of what's going on in people's minds by just listening to thoughts. You know, thoughts are not personalised items. they are very much programs. You know, so when you get a thought, it's like, oh, someone else is thinking this right now, or there's a group of people that are, or it's just a collective thought that goes on between, and it travels, you know, it like travels across the plane of existence in this realm. So, you know, having a thought, cool, okay, it's there. Is it something that's useful to you? Can you do something with it? Is it just being an intrusive distractor? You know, you really want to be getting more into the body and into the emotions. You're not getting stuck there either, right? That's a whole other thing. But yeah, so that's really a bit of a personal share. Again, because it's not that I'm not interested in things. Like I do love, like I said, I got this insatiable like appetite to like consume knowledge and give me all the things that I want to know about all the agendas and blah, blah, blah. But there's also this like taming of that, of like, I'm just feeding. It's an addiction. Like if it's not really serving me and it's not helping me focus my energy into what I'm here, you know, to be a bit of service, then yeah, it's a little bit of a displacement of my energy and a stepping away of my power. So if I want to step more into the power and sovereignty and autonomy, then getting out of this kind of constant, endless feeding of knowledge, yeah, it's not serving. So yeah, I wanted to bring that to light, and yeah, curious as to what any of you have been in that space, and what, you know, what was your journey with that, and you know, and if you're not there, that's okay too. Like if you just only just realizing like, oh my God, my thoughts can create my reality, and meditation is a thing, and I don't know, whatever, insert new thing that you've just embarked on, and you know, you're really going into like looking into all these sorts of things, and you're just really getting to know like other layers of what goes on in this existence, then great, like, you know, embark upon that for as long as it serves you, and then you may find one day you're like, oh, cool, now I'm just going to focus on like doing the dishes really well and being really present with the people that I'm with, and not that those things can't coexist. Anyway, I could keep going round and on and on. It's not necessary. Welcome to leave any comments down below. You can also connect with me on various other social media platforms, and I will see you again soon.